Would you like me to say a few words of Greenland?
Here are 5 things President Donald Trump said in Switzerland during the World Economic Summit that is currently shaking the world. And because this channel is a finance channel, I'll be limiting most of the conversation to his utterances as it affects the financial market. Number 1, the president made his position about Greenland very clear.
I have tremendous respect for both the people of Greenland and the people of Denmark, tremendous respect. But every NATO ally has an obligation to be able to defend their own territory. And the fact is, no nation or group of nations is in any position to be able to secure Greenland other than the United States. But we saved Greenland and successfully prevented our enemies from gaining a foothold in our hemisphere. So we did it for ourselves also. And then after the war, which we won it big. Without us, right now you'd all be speaking German and a little Japanese, perhaps. After the war, we gave Greenland back to Denmark. How stupid were we to do that? But we did it. But we gave it back. But how ungrateful are they now? So now our country and the world face much greater risks than it did ever before because of missiles, because of nuclear, because of weapons of warfare that I can't even talk about. It's the United States alone that can protect this giant mass of land, this giant piece of ice, develop it and improve it and make it so that it's good for Europe and safe for Europe and good for us. And that's the reason I'm seeking immediate negotiations to once again discuss the acquisition of Greenland by the United States, just as we have acquired many other territories throughout our history, as many of the European nations have. They've acquired, there's nothing wrong with it. They have a choice. You can say yes, and we will be very appreciative, or you can say no, and we will remember. For national and international security, and to keep our very energetic and dangerous potential enemies at bay, is this land on which we're going to build the greatest golden dome ever built. We're building a golden dome that's going to, just by its very nature, going to be defending Canada. Canada gets a lot of freebies from us, by the way. They should be grateful also, but they're not. I watched your Prime Minister yesterday, he wasn't so grateful. We probably won't get anything unless I decide to use excessive strength and force where we would be, frankly, unstoppable. But I won't do that. Okay? Now everyone's saying, oh, good. That's probably the biggest statement I made, because people thought I would use force. I don't have to use force. I don't want to use force. I won't use force. All the United States is asking for is a place called Greenland, where we already had it as a trustee, but respectfully returned it back to Denmark not long ago after we defeated the Germans, the Japanese, the Italians, and others in World War II. We gave it back to them. We were a powerful force then, but we are a much more powerful force now.
He said the US will not be using any form of military force to take over Greenland. In case you are wondering why the US is so interested in Greenland, it is because Greenland is positioned between North America, between the US, between Russia and China. And the US need Greenland to build their Golden Dome. If you don't know what Golden Dome means, it is a multi-shield defense system that can block both ballistic and hypersonic missiles. So the US need Greenland to build their Golden Dome. How exactly does this news affect the financial market? If he had not made that remark, we would continue to see this downward trend in the US dollar. The US dollar is currently the worst performing currency in the group of 10 amongst the G10 currencies. And because of US play in the geopolitical scene, most investors are running to safe haven assets like gold. And by the way, the price of gold is almost touching 5,000 per ounce, right? By the way, where do you think gold price will touch at the end of 2026? Let me know in the comment section. Should I be buying gold now or should I wait? The president made some remark about the stock market. He's astonished that investors are not reacting to good news in the US. Listen to what he has to say about how investors react to US stock markets.
One other thing, and I have to say it so importantly, in the old days, and I used to say I'm the youngest in the room, now I'm among the older, I hate to say it. I don't feel old, but I'm among the older. But I remember not long ago, 20, 25 years ago, when good news came out about, let's say, the United States. The United States had a great quarter. The United States had a great month. All the stocks went up. And that's the way it's supposed to be. Now when they say, the United States had a record quarter, it's unbelievable how well it's doing, all the stocks crash because they say, oh no, inflation, they're going to raise interest rates. And they do. Some of these stupid people like Powell, they raise interest rates. And what they do is they stop you from being successful. It used to be when we had a great quarter, a great month, great earnings, great anything, any good news, the stock market went up. That's the way it's going to be. We got to do that again because that's the way it should be. Now when we have a great month, they want to kill it. Like we did over 5%. People were surprised. We should do 20%. We could do 25%. When we announce good numbers, and the reason is they're so petrified of inflation. And growth doesn't mean inflation. We've had tremendous growth with very low inflation. In fact, growth can fight inflation, proper growth. So we want to get back to the days when we announced great numbers.
Now let me help you out in case you don't understand what he said. One of the greatest barometer, a tool the president used to measure efficiency and prosperity in the United States, is how the stock market performs. According to the president, investors are not reacting the way they should whenever a good news comes out of the United States. The president said the government will be buying $200 billion in mortgage bond.
Finally, I've instructed government-backed institutions to purchase up to $200 billion in mortgage bonds to bring down interest rates.
In case you don't know what he's trying to play out here, I would explain. Now, if you buy $200 billion in mortgage bond, right, the price of mortgage bond would increase, and there's an inverse relationship between the price and the rates you pay on your mortgage. So basically, if the price of mortgage bond is going up, then the rates you pay on your mortgage will crash, and that is exactly what the president wants. If you've watched this video to this point, I want you to give this video a thumbs up so that more people can see this kind of content. Then the president said he's not happy that the interest on credit card is as high as 30%. To that effect, he has sent a bill to the Congress to put the interest on credit card to a max of 10% for the next 1 year. This is what he has to say about it.
One of the biggest barriers to saving for a down payment has been surging credit card debt. The profit margin for credit card companies now exceeds 50%, one of the biggest. And they charge Americans interest rates of 28%, 30%, 31%, 32%. Whatever happened to usury? So to help our citizens recover from the Biden disaster, all caused by this horrible president, I'm asking Congress to cap credit card interest rates at 10% for 1 year.
Now, investors are reacting to this news because US, as we all know, is a free market economy. It is a capitalist economy to the core. So if you are trying to put some sort of price control on credit cards, then it does not really make it a free market economy. So that is investors' reaction to what he said. Then crypto. President Donald Trump said emphatically that he wants the US to become the crypto capital of the world. Listen to what he has to say.
To unleash innovation in savings and financing, I'm also working to ensure America remains the crypto capital of the world. And to that end, last year, I signed the landmark Genius Act into law. Now Congress is working very hard on crypto market structure legislation, Bitcoin, all of them, which I hope to sign very soon, unlocking new pathways for Americans to reach financial freedom. And I did it for two reasons. Number one, I thought it was politically good, and it was. I got tremendous political support. But more importantly, China wanted that market too. It's just like they want the AI. And we've got that market, I think, pretty well locked up. If I didn't do it, Biden was totally against it until before the election when they realized that, there were millions of people voting against him over crypto. And all of a sudden they loved it very much, but it was too late. They blew it. But it is politically popular, but it's much more importantly, we have to make it so that China doesn't get the hold of it. And once they have that hold, we're not going to be able to get it back.
Crypto adoption in the world is getting crazier and bigger. Take for example, El Salvador, under the leadership of Nayib Bukele, has kept 50% of their external reserve in cryptocurrency. The US just want to be politically correct and they don't want China to beat them to the game. By the way, crypto investors in the house, what crypto should I be buying in 2026? Drop it in the comment section of this video. The president said he would soon announce a new Fed chairman. Listen to what he has to say.
And I'll be announcing a new Fed chairman in the not too distant future. They're all great. Everyone that I interviewed is great. Everyone could do, I think, a fantastic job. Problem is they change once they get the job. They do. They're saying everything I want to hear, and then they get the job. They're locked in for 6 years. They get the job, and all of a sudden, let's raise rates a little bit. I call them, sir, we'd rather not talk about this. It's amazing how people change once they have the job, but it's too bad. Sort of disloyalty, but they got to do what they think is right. We have a terrible chairman right now. Jerome, too late Powell. He's always too late. And he's very late with interest rates, except before the election, he was just fine for the other side. So we're going to have somebody that's great, and we hope he does the right job. Last week, the average 30-year mortgage rate dropped below 6% for the first time in many years. Without us, most of the countries don't even work. And then you have the protection factor. Without our military, which is the greatest in the world by far, without our military, you have threats that you wouldn't believe. You don't have threats because of us.
In case you don't fully understand what the president said, now let me break it down for you. The reason why the president is bent on changing the current Fed chairman is because he needs someone that will play according to his tune. What I'm trying to say is he needs a Fed chairman that is going to drive interest rate down. And these are the benefits of driving interest rate down. If interest rates begin to go lower, then the interest you pay on your mortgage will go down. Secondly, there is an inverse relationship between interest rates and the equities market. So as interest rate is going down, equities market is going to go up. The stock market is going to pick up. And like I said, that is the barometer which the president used in gauging his performance as a president. And lastly, this is on a side note, by the way, the president took a jab at Ilhan Omar. This is what he has to say.
I mean, we're taking people from Somalia, and Somalia is it's not a nation. Got no government, got no police, got no military, got no nothing. And then we have this fake congressperson who they just reported is worth $30 million. You believe this? Ilhan Omar, talking about the Constitution that provides me. She comes from a country that's not a country, and she's telling us how to run America. Not going to get away with it much longer, let me tell you.
Is that really necessary? Is there really freedom of expression in the United States? Well, I wouldn't know the answer to that question. People in the US, if you are watching this video, let me know in the comment section of this video. If you've made it to the end of this video, I want you to give this video a thumbs up. I want you to share, and I want you to like this video.